Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live this evening in Tier 2 in UFRL, and it is held at the Las Vegas circuit. And of course, round 8 will be critical down the boulevard, and we'll head into this point. We are halfway through the season as well, and there are just 8 points separating Flynn and Gandalf in the championship, so those two will continue to play battle tonight. Who will be leading the championship after the 8th round? We will find out, as Taylor is about to kickstart qualifying for this evening. We are live across both platforms, Twitch and TikTok. The Twitch rather is UFRL Formula 1, and the TikTok UFRL underscore F1. So we do see in the TikTok. Good evening to Hazer. What's popping? Well, the Wolves at Vegas may very well be popping out at some drivers tonight, that's for sure. Let's see then, as Taylor out of the so-called, I say so-called, it is actually known as my wall in the league, because I've crashed there a good couple of times. An Alpine going actually relatively slowly. Let's see, is it Mickey? No. It was Drac. So has something happened to Drac there, or just letting some drivers through? He may have just been letting people through, in all fairness, as we see Taylor up to turn 12 now, and he'll be heading onto that Vegas Boulevard now, getting more yellow flags, looking like it is for Drac. I reckon he might be playing a team game, allowing his teammate to get some slipstream. That will be ARC Mickey. But let's see in a way with Taylor opting for the medium tyres, as is Jar Jar Bing on their first outing here. How wise a strategy will that be for the McLaren and for the Aston Martin? Obviously not the quickest tyre compound. You want to be on the softs for that, but what can Taylor do on this first hot lap here at Vegas? He'll head down and onto the line. It'll be a 32.5 for him. Gandalf 31.9. Of course, the Mercedes does go quicker. Badger slots into P3 as well, as our Havoc Connor now goes quickest. But what about Flynn? Flynn has invalidated Viking Fox. Go 16 thousandths of a second off the pace. We've got Jar Jar Bing coming up to the line. Flynn, what would he have set? It would have been a 32.6 for him. And Jar Jar Bing just starting a lap. And ARC Mickey goes up to P3. And indeed, he did play the slipstream game with his teammates up to third. And the top three covered by less than a tenth. Fourth place Gandalf is just over a tenth off the pace. Any of you know where Boy Knockout is? I don't know. I've not heard from him personally. And good evening to Martellion in the Twitch chat as well. But yeah, I haven't heard from Boy Knockout actually. I think did he decline? I think he did decline for tonight. So we do have the Mercedes of Willie Fernandez. He is reserving for Cannon this evening. So Willie Fernandez alongside the championship contender Gandalf does actually tap the wall as well out of turn 5. So we'll see if Willie can do well in his first reserve outing in Tier 2. This will be his first race in Tier 2 actually since, what season was it? Season 4 I want to say. I think it was season 4 when he was in there. So he hasn't been in Tier 2 since Season 4, so it'll be interesting to see what Willie can do tonight. Flynn is not pushing on this lap, neither is Jar Jar. What about Drac? He will be pushing. So we'll just go with the Alpine, keeping it nice and sturdy, out of the tricky corners, of course, at the chicane. Oh, did I not turn it on? Sorry, thank you. There you go. Right, Destroyer Dracklin goes 6 fastest, 32.4, just ahead of Taylor. Taylor, on the medium tyres, he does look pretty quick. Parkour 31.6, 2 tenths up on the chasing pack as well. Let's drop back towards Willie Fernandez and just about to complete that lap, and it will be a 33.2, goes P11. Last of the running cars, we've got Mr. Potwash, but he's not on a lap. May just go into the pit. Salty Stevens, Flynn and Jar Jar Bing joining a host of other drivers in the pit as well. So are we going to see Salty, Flynn and Jar Jar set a lap? Well, we'll definitely expect to see Flynn because he did invalidate on his first run, as did Jar Jar Bing as well. ARC Mickey up there in P4, 31.8 for him. Havoc Connor done well to go second fast. He's doing his best to improve, but he's not got the facilities to do that with his lack of battery, so therefore he won't be improving on this run. Unless he really messed up the final couple of corners, which is unlikely. With the lap time he has set, so Havoc Connor opts to head into the pits. We've also got Fox in the pits. Let's drop down the order again. Signsy is starting a lap. We've also got Hybrid as well. He was about to start a lap himself. Would have been a 36.0, so wouldn't have been a quick run. So let's stick with Signsy then, heading into turn 5. Can I check if your engine penalty got booked? Yes, I'll have a look. Discord. Right, where is it? TP up here somewhere. Team principal info is what I'm looking for, but I can't find it. Right here. Week 8. There's nobody in for week 8 at the moment. Let's see if it was asked for. I don't see your name on there. No. No, I don't see your name on there at all, and I don't think anything's been asked for as well. So maybe go out for your quali laps as you usually would, mate. I'd say, and then maybe speak to your TP afterwards. But yeah, nothing has been put in the chat at all regarding it. You sorted it. Okay, let me see then. So it might just be updated on there. You've sorted it. Okay. You asked. Oh, you asked him a week ago. Jesus. Right, so Signs hasn't validated there as our Hybrid goes P11. And Flynn is on an outlap. So he's just about to start a lap into turn 1. And we'll see if Flynn can push up there where Gandalf currently is 5th fastest. 3/10 off the pace of parkour at the moment. Yeah, there you go. You can take it. So there you go, Salty. Yeah, you can take your engine penalty tonight. So that'll be another driver. Just Merc, if you can, just make sure you pop it on that team principal info thing. Yeah, you have done. Okay, cool. Nice little quick edit in there. Right, so let's see what Flynn can do as he's just into Sector 2 now. More yellow flags. I think driver's just running out of fuel as well. Signsy is currently invalidated on his next run. What about Hybrid? He's not going again. So Signsy is going to give it another go into turn 1. Flynn, though, let's see what he can do. And you've also got Jar Jar Bing, both of which did invalidate on their first runs. So going to be critical for these two. These may very well be a used set of tyres as well for the pair of them. So we may have to factor that in. But what can Flynn do here? He'll want to be somewhere near his championship rival Gandalf, of course. Gandalf in the top 5, but can Flynn go ahead of the Mercedes? Can he even compete with parkour for potential pole? But let's see. 7 minutes remaining here in quali. Flynn up to the line. It's a 31.7 and goes in behind parkour and into P2. What about Jar Jar Bing? He will be next for the Aston Martin. His teammate, oh yeah, Boy Knockout declined, so he's not here. So Jar Jar Bing, the lone Aston Martin, goes 5th fastest, a 31.8. It pushes Gandalf down a P7 after a couple of solid laps there. What about Willie Fernandez? Into the pits he goes, 32.7, currently in P11 with Angry Badger, and Woody just behind. Woody as well, I'm surprised he's down there in P13. He's had a pretty disappointing last 3 rounds in terms of qualifying. If he were to start P13, that would be a 3rd consecutive disappointing qualifying outing. He has been known to be a strong qualifier up to the last couple of rounds as parkour, 31.5. Well, she's up to her game and gains a tenth of a second as Salty Stevens as serving his engine penalty. Still got Sainsy in the pit as well, waiting for him to come out as hybrid. He is also trying to push on another lap, but again, used all of his battery down the Boulevard Straight, so he's not really going to gain the required time. Again, when you get to below the 10% mark on your battery, you do effectively go slower, so really, Hybrid is going to be losing time from all of this as he actually opts to go into the pits. What about Woody then? Can Woody get the improvement that he needs to make? Again, wouldn't expect Woody down in P13. You would expect him to be higher than that. I'll just make sure we get the TikTok back on. There you go. But yes, let's see then what can Woody do here. As he is improving now by 0.6 of a second. That sort of improvement should get him ahead of Drac and up into the top 8. Can it get him ahead of the likes of Gandalf maybe? It's going to be pretty close in there because as you can see, that group of cars up to Gandalf in P7, 0.4 of a second between them. Fair bit, but the margin between P3 to P7 is barely a tenth as Woody has invalidated his run. Is he going to be heading into the pit? Yes, he is. So that's it for him. What about Taylor? He's continuing to run, and is he going to improve on a 32.5? Yes, he will. 32.0. So he's up to P8 ahead of Drac now, closing that gap to the top 7, and he's just a tenth off from that top 7 now. Speaking of which, Gandalf will be going again, and ARC Mickey is also not on a lap, so we'll go back towards Gandalf then. For the time being, I know he's not on a lap. Nobody's actually on a lap right now. Pole with an injury. Well, Parkour, are you trying to tell us that you should be in Tier 1? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, I don't really know what else you're trying to say with that sort of statement. Pole with an injury. Yeah, that, you know, that clearly says to me that you want to be in Tier 1, right? I mean, drivers will improve on their current times. And again, I don't know if Flynn set his lap on a used set of tyres or if he set his lap on a fresh set. If he set his on a fresh set, that'll be 2 sets of tyres that he's used already. Whereas if it's a used set, that would be a very impressive time on a used set of tyres. So we just got Taylor. We'll head into the pits now. We haven't got much time left in quali. We're just waiting for the yellow flags in the top left to disappear, which they probably won't disappear for very long. As ARC Mickey is absolutely booming down the Boulevard Straight. Unlimited power, as Darth Sidious would say. But there you go. Go back towards Gandalf, but he has invalidated his run, so Gandalf into the pits in P7. ARC Mickey really pushing the boundaries here with some exceptional pace. Straight line speed down the straight. It's amazing how slow he's going, and yet he's still exceeding 120 miles per hour. Now he's hitting 130. I mean, you think going down at 70 miles per hour is fast. He was hitting 130 and it felt like he was going snail's pace. Amazing. Let's go back then. Flynn preparing his run. 2 minutes to go here in quali. Parkour is just heading out now. Oh! Oh! Has Parkour got damage? Has Parkour received front wing damage after that ever? Yes, she has. Parkour has received front wing damage on an outlap heading out of the pits. Big chances because Viking has improved to go second fastest. Meanwhile, 31.578. Half a tenth away from Parkour. But this is a big opportunity now for every driver to close the gap and even take advantage of that major error from Parkour. This is a big problem for Parkour, I cannot lie. I mean, What can she do though with that wing damage? If she can improve on a 31.5, well that will tell you everything really. But Viking Fox going slowly. Havoc Connor is on a timed run here. Not improving, however, through Sector 1, losing 0.2 of a second. So Connor has made a mistake. ARC Mickey going extremely slowly as well here. He's got 50 seconds to be able to start a lap, so he does have enough time, whilst he is going as slowly as he is at the moment. Angry Badger, well, he's made a mistake as well, but, well, actually no, he did improve by half a second, so 32.2 for him, P9. That pushes Destroyer Jack down the order, just about on the cusp of losing his place in the top 10 at the moment. Mr. Potwash as well, then Woody Fernandez. Woody is also on a lap. What can Woody set here? He's got ARC Mickey just behind him. But let's see, Woody will come up to the line now. Taylor starts his lap 31.7 for Woody. It's up to P3. So he's ahead of his teammate Flynn, but Flynn is improving. So it's an opportunity for the Haas pairing. They have been the strongest qualifiers, or amongst the strongest qualifiers this season. Both drivers, Woody and Flynn, but now Flynn wants to take a top 3 back. Can he push towards Parkour and Viking in the final sector? The final chance. The checkered flags are out. And Flynn coming up to the line now, but he's used all of his deploy. Is it enough for Flynn? No! It's not enough, and he does not out-qualify his teammate. Flynn, 31.7. Parkour has invalidated, so she will not improve. What about Sainsy? Up to the line now as Potwash P10, Sainsy P12. And Destroyer Jack is gaining a lot of time in P13 at the moment. Destroyer Jack to the line. It's third fastest for Destroyer Jack. Where is Gandalf at the moment? He'll be one of the next ones we really need to look out for here. ARC Mickey losing time as well, and Taylor on a lap. Is Taylor gaining anything? We're going to go... We're actually going to stick with Taylor. We may as well do that. Get Parkour in Tier 1. Well, that's an interesting comment because she still is on provisional pole. Unless any of the final few drivers that finish their laps can improve. Taylor up to the line, so 31.5. He goes into P3 now. They're all improving on their runs. Gandalf has invalidated. What about ARC Mickey? He's going slowly. So neither of those two are going to be doing enough here. But SC Mickey across the line. It will remain, of course, 9th. Gandalf is only going to qualify P10. He was gaining by 0.3 through the final, into the final sector. And if he was gaining by 0.3, that would have had him right up there with Parkour, Viking and Taylor. Very close qualifying session, but Parkour takes pole position. And luckily for her, that front wing damage has not cost her. As Jar Jar says he validated and was gaining 0.2, that would have again been relatively close to the top 3. But it is Parkour, Debutant, Viking and Taylor in the top 3. Great lap there by Viking, I have to say. On the front row on his debut. But there you go. Parkour then takes another pole, as she did down at the last round in round 7 at Baku, like in a street circuits there. As Taylor on the second row alongside Destroyer Jack. Third row for Woody alongside Flynn. It is an all-Haas third row. And you've got Havoc Connor P4 ahead of Aston Martin's Jar Jar Bing. ARC Mickey lined up on the 5th row alongside the Mercedes of Gandalf. And then you've got the 2 Ferraris on the 6th row, Mr. Potwash and Angry Badger. The Williams of Sainsy ahead of the reserve of Woody Fernandez in the Mercedes. And last of all, the Red Bull Hybrid and his teammate Salty Stevens are on the back row of the grid. And once again, it is Parkour on pole for the second successive round. What do you mean a closed grid? What's that? Bar Parkour. GG Parkour says Woody. 0.4 from P1 to P10 says Parkour. Yep, but you're not the one to make that comment though, are you? Because if you're going to keep getting pole positions, there's no point having 0.001 seconds even. joking. I'm joking. Can't believe I bottled leaving the pits. I know. I couldn't believe it as well. But yet you're still on pole. It was amazing how you did that. You might just, who knows? You might end up doing that in the race as well. Oh, I was going to write the comment. Merck's already done it. Cheers, Merck. 2033. Okay. Right, so I'll be back in a few minutes' time. We do have a 5-minute break. Hopefully nobody's going to ready up early. So, yep, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Right, we are back, Glenn, and of course, we have just completed our qualifying session. So, still about a minute or two before we kickstart the race. Let's go through the comments in a TikTok as well. Yeah, P2 and P3, I think it was 0.01 between them, wasn't it? Incredibly close. You can't get much closer than that. I mean, obviously, if you got a 0.000 gap, then the driver who completed the lap first would, of course, get the higher position. Who do I think is winning? Well, it's always a tricky question with a closed field. But if Parkour continues her form from last week, um, then she'll be a very strong contender. She won at Baku, so 2 wins in a row potentially. But then you can't rule out the title contenders, Flynn and even Gandalf starting further down the order. I think he's only 10th position for the Mercedes. So yeah, we'll expect to see those two pick it up. But actually, those two have not been on the podium for about 3 races now. So they've got a lot to do. Viking Fox, yeah, he's obviously starting P2 ahead of Taylor in P3. So those two will be ones to watch as well. But I think the question will be who will be leading out of lap 1 really. But yes, anyways, let's see what happens here in the race. It is 20:33 or 8:33 p.m. So we should be getting started here in the race. We'll just wait on the drivers to ready up. Fingers crossed it'll be a great race again. Yes, the 10-second countdown has now begun. Right, let's get ready for the show. Good evening then, and we are here in UFRL Tier 2. 5 red lights are on. And it's go, go, go! Parkour with Viking Fox in the front, but it's a strong getaway from Parkour. Still leading to turn 1. Viking in P2 with Taylor. Then it's Destroyer Jack, who's on the inside line. And off track goes a Ferrari. Angry Badger goes straight on at turn 1. And it is a full course safety car. Parkour then will hold the advantage, but what happened there to the stricken Angry Badger? The Ferrari just didn't look like they wanted to brake. I mean, I might be wrong on that. I don't know if there was any contact. I didn't see any. But it looked to me as if Angry Badger had just gone straight on at turn 1. The only good thing about it is Angry Badger can just replace his wing. And now we've got a safety car. At least he doesn't really lose too much on that. But wow. Oh! He can't brake. He's got braking issues. There's some form of braking issues here for Badger. I mean, talk about lift and coast. I think he may have to lift and coast a lot if he cannot actually brake. Okay, he did get to brake there. Does seem to have braking issues at the moment at Angry Badger because he couldn't get it stopped into turn 1 and failed to get it stopped into turn 5 as well. We'll just keep on with Badger at the moment. Let's check on the tyre situation whilst we've got a safety car as well. So Jar Jar Bing actually opted for the soft tyres. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'm going to quickly go up the field just to see if anyone wants to pit on lap 1. And Jar Jar Bing may think about it. He's on softs. Is he going to box? Destroyer Jack is pitting then. He's getting rid of his mediums. Does seem like he's lagging a little bit as well, actually. Don't know if Jack's. I don't know if he's pitting to maybe try and sort out any of the lag issues. It's broke something, yeah. Something's not working for Badger. He has retired, unfortunately. But yeah, there was certainly some form of braking issues there for Angry Badger. Havoc Connor, he has picked up some damage potentially, and he is on the mediums. Hards for Potwash, Hards also for Drac. Let's check how the did anybody else serve their front? Yeah, so Mr. Potwash, and then obviously you've also got Havoc Connor. So those two serve damage, whereas Destroyer Jack hasn't. That's interesting though. Havoc Connor did receive wing damage at the start. Let's go back to the front on his end. Parkour doing well on the medium, still leading the race. Yeah, we were seeing that with Jack. I don't know if he's fixed it since. Maybe we'll actually stick with Drac just for now. I remember this happened at, I think it was Zandvoort a couple of weeks ago, but he did end up getting it fixed. So hopefully it's not looking too bad whilst I'm on him at the moment. And I don't actually see any lag right now. I was seeing a little bit of lag from him on lap 1, but he's obviously done something since then to fix it, and if it's fixed, then no biggie, I guess. And to be fair, not much was lost there, because literally drivers only went through one corner before the safety car came out, of course, so in the end, not lost a lot. So the safety car will be staying out for one more lap then with Parkour and Viking. Both on the medium still leading, but Taylor on the hards, I think he may be the most satisfied in terms of holding down P3 on the hard tyres. Jar Jar Bing softs up to P4, but not up as much as he would have liked to have been. What about the position change? Well, I say that, he has gained 4 places, so it has been a strong start. Flynn has gained ahead of his teammate Woody. You got Signsy up 6, Gandalf is now up 2 spots, Salty up 7. So a brilliant engine penalty served as well from the Red Bull. It's gained 7 spots from the start. Mickey lost 1, Willie Fernandez and Hybrid both up 3, and Drac down 9, Potwash down 3, Connor down 8, and obviously Badger losing 4 spots with his DNF. But the top 3 all holding their position here at the start. So under the lights, we've just got Parkour warming up the tyres, and as is every other driver, just trying to get them back up to temperature. Of course, they are at a vastly reduced speed under the safety car as well. How do I join? Actually, I'm not. Obviously, we were under the safety car, so I'll just pop the Discord in the chat. Right, there you go. That is the Discord then, and you can join on that. We do trial races. They are on typically on Sunday and Thursdays. We have Tier 1 Monday 8 o'clock. Tier 2 is of course tonight's race, which is Tuesday 8 o'clock. Tier 3 Wednesday 8 o'clock. 100% tier races are on Friday at 8 o'clock. And then we have an international tier race Saturday at 9 o'clock PM as well. So 5 races per week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. But tiers 1, 2 and 3 are all pace based as well, so do take note of that. Right, Parkour will prepare to go. We'll get the telemetry up for a clean restart, which hopefully it will be. The safety car is now in. Angry Badger has left the session, but he is already out of the race, so that is okay. Obviously, sad to see that he has been DNF, but either way, Parkour then gets a clean getaway, and it is a great restart from Taylor, who's already attacking on Viking. Was there a little bit of contact between the pair of them? It looked like there was. But either way, they are still running side by side. Taylor taking a narrow line, Viking on the wider line, out of turns 3 and 4 and leading the way to turn 5. Parkour still with the advantage. They can't afford to lose 1 second. Taylor is up into P2. He's made a move then. It's Viking followed by Jar Jar, who's made a quick restart as well, and up into the top 4 from Flynn and Woody. Both of the Haas pairing, and now look at Gandalf. He's already up into P7, and Hybrid's got a great restart. Oh, it's another safety car. So we only get 4 slots for a safety car, yet we've had 2 of them, and both of them have been for front wing damages. This time it's Hybrid. I mean, now this could open the window for what will happen for the tyre situation. Do drivers think about trying to take hards to the end at this point? I mean, obviously Hybrid cannot. If you're on the hards right now, you can't do that. What does Parkour do? Or even Jar Jar? 4th place now. On softs, obviously won't have a lot of tyre wear on them. That certainly does open up the window for a potential early stop. But then, do you want the early pit stop, knowing there may well be another safety car? Get my words out, or even you'll be stuck behind traffic, and if that traffic is not within a second of a car ahead, then you may very well be losing a lot of time as well. So Parkour opts the pit then. Parkour is in. Taylor and Viking both stay out. So an interesting decision here. Parkour and also Sindy alongside Woody as well, all pitting. Hard tyres you'd expect for all of them potentially. Woody Fernandez also joining them into the pits. So here we've got Woody. He's going onto the hards. We've got Woody Fernandez and also Hybrid, who is replacing his front wing, opting for the medium tyres as well. So there you go, all of the strategic changes then for these drivers. So the back 5 all on a fresh set of tyres. Drac, game has kicked me out. I can send you another invite. Oh no, then again I imagine oh, I don't think it's showing online. I was going to say, I think Merc should be able to get you back in anyway. But let's see, Jar Jar, Woody, William. Oh wait, so are you actually on AI at the moment? Oh, you're still there. Or was that a message from a little bit ago? Potentially it was, actually. So we've still got Taylor... No, well, I say still. For the first time, actually, Taylor is in the lead. But again, yet to stop. I think the best thing to do will be getting the stops on. There you go. Doesn't show... Well, doesn't hide away too much on track, actually. So, yeah. Pit stop information, I think, is the best thing to keep up for now. And then the rest of it is just going to stay on for the interval. We may go to the gap to the leader eventually. We do tend to do that a few times just to see what gaps there are exactly around the field. But, of course, for now we are going to stick with the leaders, and they are going to go for an extra lap under the safety car. So it's Taylor, Viking, Flynn and Gandalf in the top 4. The 2 championship contenders as well, back together. Flynn P3, Gandalf P4. Again, just 8 points between them. Flynn leading it ahead of Gandalf. Let me drop down, let's see. Because after lap 1, it did look like it had improved after you went into the pits. I'm not sure what exactly had happened. Yeah, maybe it's not improved then. It's weird, isn't it? I know it's silly. It is silly. Yeah, if you've got anything in the background, maybe anything downloading or anything. Hi there, hope you guys are having a good evening. Hello to Iceman, another Iceman. Is it one of our Icemen or is it a new one? Oh, that could be interesting. And good evening to Matthias as well. Of course, he'll be probably looking around for his Mercedes teammates. Gandalf currently in 4th, Woody Fernandez in 14th, and Taylor has made a mistake. Is he allowed to overtake it? He is not. So Taylor has made a mistake there. And clearly that's allowed for Viking to inherit the lead. I mean, will Viking give him the place back? It's very difficult to do that now. I mean, obviously, Viking must have been told to overtake for whatever reason. I mean, is that an error, though, from Taylor? Get the telemetry on, and we'll go on with Viking. Nothing at all. Yeah, it's strange. Oh, you're a different Iceman. Oh, wow. Because we are just about to get started, otherwise I would pop the link into the Twitch. If anybody is watching on the stream and is in the league, are you able to pop the link, the Discord link into the Twitch, and then somebody can join that way? Either way, Viking is off. He's got off to a good restart. Taylor is there with him. It'll be interesting if Viking allows Taylor to take the lead or not. I mean, he's pulled aside. I think he's letting him back through, and to be fair, he is. So good, fair racing there from Viking, allowing Taylor to go back into P1. And then he got Flynn further back, and a few drivers just trying to jostle for position. I think that's Destroyer Jack as well going for it. Mr. Potwash, and he got... Oh, what's happened? What's happened? Parkour, Jar Jar Bing, all involved, and Woody as well. There's another safety car. We keep getting safety cars. Well, at least this time was actually for what seemed to be an incident. Jar Jar Bing, and you've got Connor, I think, may have wing damage too. I mean, wow. Non-stop safety cars, but that may well be the first time we've actually had a safety car for an incident of some form. Angry Badger obviously did go straight on at turn 1. I think he had some braking issues. We haven't heard from him since. Yeah, Connor does have wing damage on the left side. What about Jar Jar? Looks to be the right side for him, and Parkour. looks to be the entire front wing for parkour. And for Woody as well, same for parkour. So both parkour and Woody will have to stop again. And that's the issue when you do make the early pit stop here. I know you're making it under a safety car, but it's always an issue because now, what do you do? Because you're obviously going to have to pit for repairs. I mean, 4 drivers minimum are going to come in, but Viking Fox is in as well. As is William. No, William's up now. So Viking Fox, Flynn, Gandalf, Salty Stevens. Look at them. So many are in the pit. And that means only 2 drivers, Taylor and Mickey, have not pitted in this race. Everyone else is in. Or has been in. So we've got the wing change there for Woody and also for parkour, just coming out ahead of Woody. But P14 now for parkour. Let's check the tyres, parkour and Woody, both opting for the soft compound of tyre. I mean, you probably could take mediums to the end at this stage, even though it would be they would be falling off at the end, no doubt about it. But hards can go to the end easily from now. Yeah, wow. So you've got parkour and Woody on the soft tyres. They're going to try and make their way through the field, but what sort of strategy is that? Will that work in favour of parkour and Woody here? I imagine it will be a bit of a struggle for both of them, to be honest. They will, of course, have to pit again, maybe hoping for that 4th and final safety car. I'm sure Taylor's not going to go, whatever happened. Oh wait, Flynn. What's happened to Flynn now? Well, Flynn has lost 2 places now. To Drac and to Viking. He was in P6, Flynn. Now he's down to P8, and I'm not sure why exactly he's dropped down a couple of spots, but either way, that's what's occurred. As Destroyer Drac has also dropped to P7. Oh, now up to P6. I think Destroyer, I know you'll be probably listening, I do think you'll need to retire, to be honest. It's a bit crazy at the moment, though. I mean, the race, in fairness, has been pretty crazy. There's not been a lot of racing so far, so hopefully the last 2/3 of the race will be far better than the opening third, but yeah, definitely Destroyer Jack is going to need to retire that car. I'd genuinely love to know, are people lagging on your screen or not? Yeah, I mean, I'll move up to the front runners. Oh wait, hang on. No, let's move back, see what's happening. Yeah, definitely will need to retire though, that car. But let's go back up then towards the front. Taylor. And enable the telemetry because we will be getting restarted then. And yeah, it looks like, thank you Jack, so we did go straight on there just to let everyone through. I bet some people are confused as to what's happening. Let's see, I know obviously the safety car will say it's in this lap. I'm waiting for that to show up. Doesn't even look bad right now though. All of a sudden it looks like it's almost fixed itself. Hang on. It may have fixed itself, Jack, and I'm not sure how. It doesn't even look bad now, it looks fine. There doesn't look to be any lag right now, Drac. If you want to try and continue, maybe. I don't see any lag on your side right now. Either way, Taylor's got back underway. I mean, I'm just reporting from what I saw there. It didn't look like you were lagging on the final couple of sort of straights. Which is a bit weird, because obviously you were before, but then all of a sudden you went straight on, and it sort of seems to have fixed it. Parkour has overtaken Jar Jar Bing. We'll drop back and see that one emerging as Jar Jar is on the inside line, but has lost the position here to Parkour. So Parkour up to P12 now. And what can Parkour do with Jar Jar and also Woody just behind? None of them are pushing too hard down at turn 5, so they'll head all the way up out of the Sector 1 split. And Parkour holds on to the position, but Taylor, 1.5 seconds clear. Taylor's made a very strong restart here. And look, the gap is sort of closing. Woody Fernandez losing out to Hybrid now. And here comes Viking Fox as well, looking on the move down the inside. But Woody Fernandez covers off the move. And then further back you've got Flynn, Salty and Signsy here as well. But we're going to go back up towards Woody Fernandez. Hybrid obviously just overtook him, but Woody Fernandez wants it back. And he takes the position back. What about Flynn? Flynn is gaining on Viking, and Flynn on the inside of Viking Fox. Has he got the move done as well? It looks like he has done. And he has. So Flynn is up into the top 6 now. Gandalf meanwhile losing places to Parkour. And Parkour is up to P11. Then it's Gandalf. And now Flynn losing out to Viking again. A little bit of contact between the pairing. But Flynn on the outside. Viking on the inside. And the Fox has held it together. And Viking Fox back into the top 6 now. Flynn down a P7 as Woody ahead of Jar Jar. Parkour now ahead of Havoc. Connor on a very narrow line there. And this could give a switchback opportunity to Gandalf as he tried to pull off the switchback. Let's see. It's now on the slipstream. We'll be getting DRS as well. Down into turn 5. They will be running side by side. Connor with Gandalf very close between a pair of them. But Havoc Connor has just edged his way ahead. Gandalf has to settle in behind. And it will be a little bit frustrating that from the Mercedes here, knowing he has got the 1 lap fresher tyres as well. What about Woody Fernandez losing out again, this time to Hybrid and also to Viking. So Viking's made his move and Viking up into the top 5. And he is on the freshest tyres of anyone in the top 6 as well. So Viking Fox has a strong chance at a great result here tonight. And he may be on for a potential debut win, similar to what Taylor achieved a few weeks ago at Miami. So Viking Fox on ahead of Hybrid now. Flynn overtakes Woody Fernandez in the process. Salty Stevens also making his way through. Pretty hectic down the boulevard. As what's that? Was that a potential car into the wall? A little bit further back, could it be maybe Woody Fernandez or Signsy possibly? Either way, Viking Fox up into 4th place now. Then it's Hybrid, then you've got Flynn. And there is a car entering the pit, and that is going to be... It's Signsy. So Signsy must have picked up wing damage there. Side by side here, Gandalf going on Woody. Woody's not going to make it easy for Gandalf. Don't forget Woody's teammate Flynn is battling Gandalf for the championship. So Woody trying to make things difficult for the Mercedes. But they are still running side by side into turn 5 now. Woody is trying to keep it there on the inside line with Gandalf on the outside. They're still side by side. I mean, there has been contact between them. Gandalf seems to have gotten his way through. And up into P11 now. Woody was fighting it, and Woody under attack here. Woody has to go off. Jar Jar Bing was looking for a move as well, but Jar Jar picking up a 3-second time penalty. That will, of course, impact him come the end of the Grand Prix. Let's go back towards Woody then. The top sort of 4 do have a gap between them, but Mickey has closed it back on Taylor here. I mean, Woody's doing all he can to make it tricky for Gandalf. Flynn losing out to Parkour. I mean, Flynn really, neither of the 2 title contenders have really made a major impact in this race. The 2 Red Bulls, Salty Stevens overtaking Hybrid. Salty up into... Oh, wait, hang on. No, he's not. Hybrid had a move there on the inside. Hybrid's lost out. Hybrid's lost out to Parkour and to Flynn now. Woody, 3-second time penalty. Gandalf's down to P13. I mean, you're certainly seeing the battling going on. Parkour 34.4, the new fastest lap for the Williams. But we've got Gandalf still down the order. Flynn's not exactly punching above his weight either in P7. We'll go back up the front and then towards ARC Mickey, who now wants to overtake Taylor. And ARC Mickey is the new race leader ahead of the McLaren. So the former Tier 1 and Tier 2 champion finally makes his way up to the front. Yet to win a race this season, ARC Mickey. Signsy out in the pit, so that won't be another safety car. But we have lost to Williams. Mr. Potwash, meanwhile, up into P3. But again, all of those in the top 3 will still need to pit again. Unless Mr. Potwash wants to take those tyres to the end, I can guarantee you they won't be feeling particularly healthy. We're going to go back on with Taylor for the race lead. Signsy, the second driver, alongside Angry Badger, to retire from the Grand Prix. So Taylor then overtaking ARC Mickey. The Alpine won't make life too difficult for him. Let's check back with our Destroyer Jack, see what the connection is like at the moment for the Alpine. MP14, it doesn't look like it's lagging at all right now, so to me it looks okay. But what's also occurring is a battle here. You've got Woody, you've got Gandalf and Jar Jar Binks. They've been involved for the past few laps, to be fair, since the safety car restart. But what can Gandalf do? What about Woody again? Really making life difficult, isn't he? For Gandalf, he's really pushing the Mercedes all the way. And is he going to make a move into turn 1? He holds back and remains in P13. But he's doing all he can to stop Gandalf from tracking down Flynn in not just the race, but in a championship as well. But Gandalf now wants to put a car in between them. And Gandalf goes for the move round the outside of the Aston Martin of Jar Jar Binks. And now Jar Jar Binks may be under attack here from Woody. Again, Woody just wants to do as much as he can to stop the Gandalf charge. I think one of the drivers there, potentially even Gandalf, has hit the wall there. Doesn't look like he's incurred any damages, but look at the gap between himself and Willy Fernandez. 3 seconds. It's almost one of those where does Willy Fernandez drop back and help his teammate out? He almost needs to sort of help his teammate and get away from Jar Jar and Woody, really. And as you can see, we are on the direct onboard. But let's go back up because Parkour overtaking Mr. Potwash now. And the Williams is into the podium places, up into P3. As also a battle further back, Viking Fox has a look on Potwash. And then you've got Flynn on Salty as well. Let's go back towards Viking then. On the inside of Mr. Potwash. Another 3 seconds of Jar Jar Binks. Yellow flags for Jar Jar Binks. Is that another safety car? It's a virtual safety car. It's only a virtual. So this does give a little bit more freedom to drivers to do what they want to do. That's what's happening here. Gandalf's into the pit. Woody is into the pit. And also Jar Jar Binks. He is replacing his wing. So look at this. Gandalf and Woody both decide to pit. I mean, they go at medium tyres to the end. And if that is the last of the safety cars, it is the 4th one. I mean, I know it's only a virtual, but if that's the final one, then those two are the only two, alongside Jar Jar Binks, to be on fresh tyres. But Jar Jar Binks on 3.5 old hards. So fresh mediums for Gandalf and for Woody. This is going to make the race very interesting. Can they catch up to the front pack? And don't forget, these guys are on older tyres as well. Look at Taylor and Mickey. They still need to pit, by the way, Taylor and Mickey. And this virtual safety car came out at the worst time for them, because if it came out 10 seconds earlier, they would have gone into the pits and put on a set of medium tyres. I'm sure they would have done. But there you go, DRS enabled. And it's perfect for Parkour, who's got a great launch and takes ARC Mickey immediately. Parkour is up at a P2 now. Is she set for back-to-back race wins in Tier 2? It looks likely. ARC Mickey wants to do something, but ARC Mickey into the pits and he serves his first pit stop. That means we are still waiting on Taylor who is now the only driver to pit in this race. So Parkour is your net P1. Mr. Potwash technically is net P2. He has pitted, however, he is going to struggle to really launch any form of attack here. More yellow flags further back for the Alpine team. And that is for Destroyer Drac. We're going to go back towards it. What's happened? Destroyer Drac has had some form of damage, but either way, Mr. Potwash now losing out. And here we are on the inside line of Viking Fox. And Viking is now up onto the podium. It could be a debut podium for Viking. But they're all trying to charge their way to the front. Parkour is directly behind Taylor now with 5 lap fresher tyres. But here comes Viking. Viking has made a move on the inside of the podium. What a move by Viking Fox. However, he won't get DRS here. So he's going to be straight away under attack from Taylor, Parkour, Potwash and Salty. And even Flynn potentially. So Viking is under all sorts of pressure here, and he'll be losing at least 1 or 2 places, no doubt about it. Taylor, though, yet to pit. Taylor has the advantage, though. Parkour P2, and look at this. Vikings, Salty Stevens, Potwash are all in there, and they've all made the places. Havoc Connor dropping back in the kick Sauber, and he may have picked up some damage himself, but Taylor now losing out, and into the pits goes Taylor. So you've got Parkour, Salty, Viking, Potwash and Flynn, the top 5 all close together. But who is going to end up winning the race? Don't forget Parkour has 2 lap older tyres. Taylor Hybrid and Connor all opting for a fresh set potentially of mediums. ARC Mickey will rise up the field, as will Woody and Gandalf as well. So we've got this battle on for the top 5. Willie Fernandez still out on track as well. Could be on for P6, but he will struggle with ARC Mickey and with Taylor. So Woody and Gandalf have not really gained that much, even though they're on fresh rubber. Gandalf in P11. Now he will make the move here on Woody and up into the top 10, but he's a long way back. They are a long way back from the front runners. Parkour gone from bottom of table to 3rd. Well, yep, now Parkour is leading. Pretty mental, I know. But that's what Vegas can serve up for you. It can serve up some crazy racing where anything can happen. As you can see, Gandalf still only just in the top 10 now, but he is on the fresh tyres. Yet, he's still behind Hybrid, Taylor and Mickey. I mean, if they can gain the time they need to, then they'll be up there. Let's go back up then on the Boulevard Straight. Parkour, Salty. Viking just dropping back a little bit, actually. 1 second behind the pair of them, so he needs to use that battery to close up again, which he does seem to be doing now. Let's move further back. Woody this time on Gandalf. Are they trying to work together, or is Woody still thinking, no, I do not want to help Gandalf whatsoever? I imagine it's more likely going to be the latter. As our Woody 3-second time penalty then. So he has cut the corner, the chicane. But we're going back with Salty Stevens, who stays behind Parkour, and Viking and Flynn as well. Mr. Potwash has been dropped. So it's a 4-way battle for the lead. Woody still ahead of Gandalf as well, further back. So again, Gandalf 8 points behind Flynn in the championship, overtaking Woody now. And back into the top 10, but this is not helping Gandalf's race. And to be fair, he has had some struggles this evening at Vegas. Whether it was because of the strategy side of things, maybe the fact that Woody's really put him under the pressure. But whatever's occurred here, it's not been helpful for Gandalf. But who knows, anything can still happen in the final 8 laps of the Grand Prix. We're going to go back up towards the front with Salty Stevens. Parkour still holding out the lead of the Grand Prix, however. And they all take a little chicane nicely down out of turn 16. And the final corner coming up at turn 17. The left-hander, the fast left-hander, of course. And there you go, Parkour, Salty, Viking and Flynn are all in there. But let's see, we may just drop back. We are going to drop back. Because again, Woody overtaking Gandalf and back into the top 10. One thing Gandalf does not want to do is receive any form of time penalty, however. Taylor, 34-1, fast stat for the McLaren. He has shot back from Mickey, 1.6 seconds behind him, so Taylor can't exactly work with the Alpine, but they are gaining considerable time. Get the gap to the leader on ARC Mickey is less than 15 seconds behind Parkour. As again, Gandalf re-overtaking Woody. They are starting to close up towards Hybrid as well. Within a couple of seconds of the Red Bull now, so they are gaining by a little bit of time per lap, but the top four are still close together. And is ARC Mickey gaining enough time to potentially catch up to the top four come the end of the race? I mean, there's not a lot left to go. I mean, ARC Mickey needs to put in some blistering lap times if he wants any chance at a win. It seems highly unlikely though. So the top four are the ones battling for the victory. Parkour on 2-lap older tyres, so clearly at a disadvantage here. Salty Stevens just settling in behind Parkour at the moment. Wonder if Salty Stevens picked up a bit of an unnecessary warning there. The track limits. Woody back ahead of Gandalf and a close narrow line there from Salty Stevens. Taking it differently compared to Parkour, but Viking's still there as well. I'm going to go back on with Salty Stevens here because he may go for the lead, but he actually holds out and remains in P2. So Viking Fox still on for a debut podium. Could he be on for a debut win as well? And what about Flynn? Yet has not been on the podium for about 3 weeks now. This could be his first podium in a month for Flynn, which you wouldn't expect to say about a championship leader. And again, Gandalf ahead of Woody and back into the top 10. Salty Stevens lost a little bit of time actually through the middle sector. Almost half a second actually. So Salty Stevens 8/10 back from Parkour now. But we're going to see Viking and we're certainly going to see Flynn try and make some moves here. And here comes Flynn actually. Flynn is getting much closer. He's going to go for the overtake. Flynn on the inside of Viking Fox. He got it done. Viking doesn't want to lose it, but Flynn is ahead. Is he going to stay ahead though? Because they're almost nose to tail here. Flynn ahead of Viking Fox. And he has got the move. So Flynn is now onto the podium. Salty Stevens meanwhile within 0.2 of a second of Parkour. As Viking Fox has a little gentle look on the inside of Flynn. Holds out for the overtake. Again, it does not look like we can have another safety car here. So we're running all the way to the end. And Parkour has got the lead. But does she want to be leading going on to the final lap? I'm going to guess she probably doesn't want to be leading. And again, neither does Salty Stevens. So, who wants to be leading on the final lap of the race? Parkour, Salty, Flynn or Viking? 33-2 Connor as a new fastest lap for the Kick Sauber. But right now, would not be getting a point for that because he is not in the top 10. As I will mention as well, Taylor's closed up on ARC Mickey. Half a second away, those two then will be getting a DRS between themselves for P7 and P8. So that could allow them to close the gap to Woody Fernandez and potentially miss the pot wash. They can still get a top 5 finish, Mickey or Taylor, but they've really got to put the burners on. But look at the gap between Parkour and Salty. Salty Stevens looks just have DRS and only just. Flynn though, here comes Flynn on the inside line on Salty, and it's got the move done. Yellow flags for Jar Jar Bing, but Flynn is into P2, but the gap to Parkour is over a second now. So Parkour has built up that 1.2 second gap, now 1.1. Flynn is not going to get DRS, and this gives Parkour a massive, massive opportunity to win. I mean, surely there's no way back now for Flynn. Woody is ahead of Gandalf and back into the top 10. They are now a second behind Hybrid as well. But what has Flynn got here? Can Flynn recover? Because obviously Salty Stevens was the one to have lost the DRS to Parkour. Flynn is trying to burn a battery here. I think they're all going to try and burn a little bit to try and get away from each other. And Flynn is starting to open up a gap to Salty Stevens as well. Salty is just hanging on himself, as is Viking. The top four are as spread out as they have been in this race. I mean, they haven't been any more spread out than that. Gandalf, 3-second time penalty. That is exactly what Woody would have wanted to do. And that time penalty situation there, 3 seconds Gandalf, 6 for Woody, 6 for Jar Jar. So for Gandalf, he will not be getting any higher than P10 in this race unless somebody makes some form of mistake, or even, well, even if he any damages occur. But let's see what happens then. The top four still in DRS of each other, just about hanging on there. And Flynn done well to get the DRS himself. Where is the bird? The bird is, well, he raced last night in Tier 1. So he'll be back racing, I imagine, on Friday in the 100% tier. Who has watched the whole way through? I have. No, I'm joking. I imagine some of you guys have. In a Twitch, there's still plenty of people watching as well. So I imagine a fair few have watched the whole way through, yes. Salty Stevens then still in P3, but Flynn... Has Flynn given himself the best chance at a race win now? He's really done well to close that gap to Parkour at within 0.3 of a second. Now Parkour wants to be in the lead, says Martellion. Yeah, well, what, going on to the final lap? I'm not sure if she does. I think Flynn will be very happy to be P2 going on to the final lap of the race. But obviously we've still got 2.5 laps of racing remaining. But right now, Flynn seems to be in prime position. What about further back? Any more battling occurring? Well, Taylor ahead of Mickey. So ARC Mickey has sort of been dropped from yellow flags. I think that may have been potentially for Jar Jar Bing again. Let's check back in here with Flynn. In P2 behind Parkour. And yeah, again, just staying behind. He knows he wants a DRS on the final lap, so... We'll wait for that. Parkour, though, makes a little bit of a slip and a slide. And because Flynn's not going to want to overtake, what does that do for Salty Stevens? Or does Flynn want to overtake? Does he want to go for the move? No, he doesn't. Just applying the pressure to Parkour. So if he doesn't want to go for a move, if Parkour makes a mistake, don't forget. And oh, it's a move there from Viking. He looked for it on Salty. Doesn't quite get it. But if Parkour makes a mistake, Flynn doesn't want to overtake. That opens a door for Salty Stevens and for Viking Fox. Any of the top four can still win this race. Easily. Flynn done well to catch up. Yes, he has. That's for sure. I do see that Salty Stevens actually does have wing damage, does he? Or does he? He might actually be incorrect on that. Somebody looks to have had damage. Oh! Salty Stevens has almost lost it. He does have damage. I was correct. On the right side there on the end plate, he has got damage. So... Salty Stevens is actually doing well to hang on to the top two, but at what cost? Destroy Jack, 10-second penalty. Well, I think for him, he's just going to finish the race. That's all he needs to do. Oh, and what's that? Viking as well. Viking Fox going for the overtake now because Salty Stevens has lost 1.5 seconds. And now we've got a battle for the win, and we've got a battle for the final spot on the podium. Viking is overtaking Salty Stevens now. So what about Flynn further ahead? Flynn is staying in P2 going on to the final lap. And Viking is ahead of Salty Stevens as well. So Viking not giving up on a final spot on the podium, but makes another mistake there. So Viking Fox and Salty have lost the top two, and it is a straight sprint to the end. 1 lap to go. Parkour versus Flynn for the win. Viking versus Salty for the final spot on the podium. So the battles are still going to arise here. Taylor, meanwhile, is closing the gap to Willie Fernandez and is now within 1 second for P6. So we'll watch out for that as well. But Parkour still has the lead ahead of Flynn. And sadly for Parkour, there's not a lot that you can do to win this race. I mean, it will need a bit of a miracle to win this race now for Parkour, because Flynn will have all the battery in the world to secure that big win for the championship as well, to open up the gap to Gandalf in the standings, with Gandalf barely hanging on to a top 10, which he will get due to Woody having 3 seconds more of time penalties. But P1 for Flynn, P10 for Gandalf, that would be a massive gap opening up for the Tier 2 Championship. But Flynn going down the boulevard for the final time in this evening's Vegas Grand Prix will open up the DRS in a moment's time. He is waiting and gunning for glory. Down the boulevard he goes. Flynn opening up the straight on the battery as well, and down the internal parkour, but he goes straight on. Oh my goodness gracious! Flynn has bottled the win. Parkour is going to do it. He's lost the podium as well. Parkour, unbelievable. It's going to be back-to-back wins for Parkour. Flynn has made a massive error, and almost side by side, Salty Stevens P2, Viking P3. Flynn gets P4, but should have won that race. Oh my gosh, Flynn, that is a massive mistake at the end there. Mr. Potwash, one of his old for him, P5. Taylor takes William and gets P6. Mickey P8. Hybrid will get 9th place, but what has happened on the final lap to Flynn? He has lost the race win and only takes P4. So Gandalf P10, Connor P11, Woody P12, Jar Jar will take P13. Then there will be Jack. But what on earth happened there? Flynn, wow. That is pretty mental. That is absolutely mental. Just completely locked up. And that has cost him the win at turn 14. Just waiting now on Destroyer Jack to cross the line. It will be a P14 for the Alpine and a final points pay position. But go up towards the race winner because Parkour's taken it once again out of nowhere, because it looked like the win was going to be in the bag for Flynn. But all of a sudden Parkour takes it. Wow. His tyres nearly caught on fire, yeah. Instant promotion that is, says Jar Jar in regards to Parkour. GG Parkour. Says Martellion and Woody. But yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see what Parkour saw of that, because she would have seen Woody go, not Woody, Flynn go straight on. I mean, I don't know if Woody had the commentary on at the time or was hearing anything on the track, but yeah, that was pretty mental, hey. Williams is here, says Pesci. But yeah, Parkour is still the only Williams driver to get a race win this season as well, so fair play to that. But either way, Salty Stevens get to P2. Viking Fox with a debut podium as well, ahead of the Haas of Flynn. And you got Mr. Potwash in P5, Taylor P6, Woody Fernandez reserving tonight from Tier 3. He takes P7, P8 for ARC Mickey, 9th for Hybrid, and a final place in the top 10 lands for Gandalf. Havoc, Connor, Woody, Jar Jar Bing, and Destroyer Jack were the final drivers to finish the race. And then you got the bottom two there, Signs and Angry Badger have both DNF'd. But it is the win for Parkour, and it is back-to-back victories for the team of Williams here in Tier 2. Yeah, engine penalty to P2, yeah, definitely a fantastic performance for you. And you must have been delighted as well about whatever occurred there for Flynn. I mean, he just went straight on, literally. Pretty mental, but either way, that is what's happened. So, sadly for him, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's not going to be wanting to do that again. Right, let's see what we're going to do. We are going to do some interviews, of course, as we normally do. I just want to make sure I've got all the results on for tonight. Yeah, Salty definitely done well. Phil, sorry for Jack, had a lot of issues, I think. Yeah, he did. He got to the finishing line, did get some points in the end. But yeah, it was certainly unfortunate there. It is strange though, when you have that much in terms of the connection though, because it's 1000 Mbps, which is what I have as well. So you wouldn't think that should ever cause a problem. It is strange, I cannot lie. Right, let's drop those two in. so we've got that. So now let's get on to the interview screen. And who is ready for an interview? I'm going to guess the race winners in. Yeah, so parkour's already in. So we'll see if other drivers want to have that. Whether or not, I don't imagine Flynn would want one, and I wouldn't necessarily blame him for not wanting one. Viking is in, so we'll just see if Salty Stevens wants one. If not, and don't worry too much. But we've got both Parkour and Viking ready. I mean, it would be interesting to hear from Flynn, but again, I think it is highly unlikely. After that, a bit of a mistake, shall we say, at the end there to cost him those 3 positions, and sadly for him, it's cost him a podium, let alone a race win as well. So he's lost both of them tonight. Alright, let's drop into the interview room then. Alright, so we have just dropped in the interview room. Let's make sure we got the right. There you go, that's the right one. Turn that one off. So we've now got the right sounds on. Flynn will need a few minutes, I think, raging with himself. I think he might need more than a few minutes. Not sure I would want to go into an interview with what happened there, to be honest. I mean, that would have been pretty mental, that's for sure. Right, anyway, let's start the interview process then. And we'll say good evening to our debutant for tonight. Good evening to Viking Fox.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, pretty hectic. In terms of the start of the race, there were a lot of sort of safety cars early doors. So what were you thinking during those periods?
I was thinking, this is going to be good for my tyres, but then, like, as we started closing on lap 10, which I was intending to get rid of my mediums around then anyway, I've literally was like, if there's another safety car, I'm getting rid of these tyres and I'm just going to hopefully run to the end. And yeah, to be honest, I just wanted to get running. It always makes it, like, kind of breaks up your rhythm when you keep getting safety cars like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty mental. And then obviously, finally, we did get green flag racing for an extended period of time. It's fair to say. And at that stage, obviously, you made your stops. I think some of the drivers didn't actually stop. I think a couple of drivers at the front. So you had to find your way through those drivers. I think Taylor was one of them.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think I was carrying a little bit more wing than some because I did seem to struggle down the big straights, especially against Salty. He was just rapid, and Flynn just flew by me once he got up behind me. So, but round the twistier part of the tracks, I was able to keep up quite well. So yeah, it was okay. I think I made a couple of little like dives down the inside of people through the twisty section. I was just gaining on the cars in front so much. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and make some moves. Yeah, really enjoyed it. And Vegas is not a track I'm particularly great at either, to be fair.
Oh, does that mean you're winning next week then? If that's not your strongest
Oh, I don't,
track?
I don't know. No, it's where are we racing next week?
I'll have a look.
Oh, Japan, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
Japan.
I like Suzuka. Just yeah, Vegas. I've been having a problem with like the sharp left right hander where I did overtake someone and I think turn one, two. I think it's turn three. The right hander after the mini straight. Like I've been in
Turn
that wall so many times.
that wall's turn 5. Yeah,
Oh, turn five, yeah.
yeah,
Like in practice, I kept clipping that, and I was just like, please don't do that. So
yeah.
yeah, really happy with it. Like
Mm.
it was hard work keeping up with everyone at the front there. We was all really close, so it was just trying not to make a mistake, and yeah, really good. And in the end, my tyres started to go out, and Salty got like real. We got real close going through like the final chicane,
Mm.
and my rear end decided to step out, and I was just like,
I
no.
saw that. Yeah, and at that point, you knew you weren't going to get the win. But I'm presuming you thought that it was the battle for P3 between you and Salty at that stage.
Yeah, like yeah. After we kind of started battling a bit, Flynn and uh,
Parkour.
Parkour had just got away. So yeah, it was good. It was my first race, so I'm just happy to have a good solid result, to be honest. So
You did that. You definitely did well, mate, for a debut as well. I think you've got to be happy with that. That's for sure. Good stuff, mate.
I am indeed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So that was Viking Fox getting a debut podium. I think that is that the best result for a debutant since I believe Taylor won at Miami. So very strong result for him. But let's go. So we'll actually not go with parkour, because I've just seen somebody else in the chat. Good evening to Flynn.
Hello.
Hello. So, well, we'll say your result first. You ended up getting that P4. How did the start of the race go from your perspective?
Um, the start of the race was a bit of an interesting one because Destroyer's Track internet was a little bit crazy all over the place,
Mm,
but it
yeah.
seemed to even out just a little bit, and he did play a good sport. So shout out to him for putting off to the runoff and letting everyone buy it and hopefully
Mm.
fixing it for the next race. But yeah, the start of the race wasn't too bad, only apart from the laggy connection.
Yeah, and then obviously we had a load of safety cars. I think you got ahead of your teammate though, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he let you through. Did he let you through? Or...
I'm trying to think now. Um,
It was
I
so
can't. I
long
can't
ago.
remember honestly. It was so long ago. There's so much going on that first lap. I can't remember to be honest.
Well, to be fair, I'm sure if you do watch it back, you'll probably realise how much your teammate actually helped you in terms of a championship battle with Gandalf.
Oh yes.
So yeah, watch out for that. I'd say if you do watch it back. But in terms of the safety cars, the first three came out, and then finally it did sort of settle down after that. Um, and you had already pitted, obviously, because the top four had all boxed already. So at that stage, it was just going to the end, and for you, the strategy was going to be to get those hards to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, to the end as they could do.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. To be fair, I think at that stage you could have even gone mediums to the end, but obviously they wouldn't have felt particularly nice from personal experience on that. I think Merck as well had previous experience getting mediums to the end. They weren't feeling particularly great, but he did well at them. But yeah, in terms of yourself as well, you did have a lot of battling going on, and obviously battled hard with parkour and obviously Salty and Viking as well in those final laps.
Yeah, that was quite a lot of fun. Shout out to Viking and
Mm,
Sotty. That was a lot of fun. And I just tried to find my way through the pack one by one. I just back out, let them fight, and then sneak on through. And then had a bit of fun with parkour. And then I
mm.
bottled on the final corner, the last lap. I've just struggled with braking recently, and pretty much I went for the overtake and did a error on my side and left hot lap on, so it gave me a bit of an engine boost and energy boost, and yeah, I couldn't stop in time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was pretty mental. I thought you after you'd made the move, I thought it was it. I thought it was done. You'd won, but I saw you go straight on, and I thought, no, that can't be what's happening. I thought it must have been some form of glitch. The game's glitched, and you've actually gone straight through the chicane like normal. That's what I was wondering if it had happened, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was in complete shock at the time. I presume you probably were absolutely gutted. But still, even though you made that mistake, you still get P4, and you still obviously Gandalf got P10 in the end, so you still beat him by a good few places.
Yeah, I would say I did beat Gand by a few good places. It's better than last week. Baku had a very
Mm,
horrendous race, locked up there as well, down at turn two. But yeah, I'm gutted to lose out on the win and a podium as it is, but to come home P4 after the lockup on the last lap, I'll take that if you know what I mean. And like you say, it does extend a little bit on the championship as well, but we'll just see as we get closer to the 2 week or 1 week break.
yeah, because I think the P4 would allow you to get I'm gonna say 24 points, I think. So whereas Gandalf I think gets I want to say about 12 roughly, 10 or 12 points for that. So you do open up a pretty fair gap. You're 8 points ahead going into that race as well. So you should be about 20 or so ahead now, probably more.
It makes me a bit more relaxed and happy, at the least.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, good stuff tonight, and obviously very unlucky at the end there, but still a solid P4, mate.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the amazing commentary as always.
You're welcome, mate. So yeah, good stuff there for Flynn. Obviously, did make the error at the end, but still a very strong result for him. P4. And when you compare it to his main championship rival Gandalf only getting P10, I think Flynn will be relatively happy overall. Let's go then to, unless somebody else has joined, let's have a look. Yeah, so we are going to go to tonight's race winner. Good evening, Parkour.
Good evening, Viva. Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I am good after that race. A bit stressed. The ending was a bit Jesus, but it was an up and down race. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously the start of the race you got pole, and then. Oh, actually, no. I'm not going to talk about the start of the race. I want to talk about qualifying because I think you know what I want to ask. What were your thoughts when you were
Yeah.
heading out of the pit lane, going on to your final lap, then, Parkour?
Well, I thought it was amazing. Nothing went wrong at all. No, I was coming out the pits and just put too much throttle on and spam myself into the wall.
Couldn't
Simple as
believe
that.
it.
Got a yellow wing. I
Mm.
could have got 2 tenths more, but just bottled me on lap. So what can I say? I just
And you
screwed it.
still got
But
pole.
yeah, still kept it by 500. Still kept it.
Yeah, well, obviously done well to get that pole. And then going into the race, you held on to the lead after one corner. After that, you didn't really need to do much more because the safety car's done the job for you.
Fortunate for the early safety car. I was thinking door box, but I thought
Mm.
no, the hards will not go to the end from here. And then obviously the next safety car came out. So
Yeah, well, I think there were three safety cars in a row, so at that stage, I think everyone bar maybe two drivers had pitted. I was a bit surprised that two drivers stayed out, to be fair.
so the second safety car was the one I pitted,
Yeah,
and I thought I'm gonna pit. Maybe half the grid might pit with me. No, about 4 people. 4 people pitted with me, and I was just like, great, I've got to overtake all these drivers now. And then after that restart, I obviously got past ahead Jar Jar Bing. It was the second safety car restart, and behind Havoc Connor. And then unfortunately, I got past Havoc Connor. No, I got past Havoc Connor into turn one. Sorry, and then Destroyer Drac was lagging in front of me again. I'd shout out to him for being a good sport and retiring, but because he was lagging in front of me, like really badly, he almost jolted into the sidewall. On that, that straight after turn 1 and 2.
yeah,
Basically he went to the sidewall, so I was like, I'm gonna brake a little bit earlier than my normal braking point to not go into the back of him. And unfortunately, then I just see my wing mirror Havoc Connor coming up behind me, and I get hit into the wall, unfortunately. But
yeah,
got safety car out, and yeah.
yeah, gutting with that. But then obviously after that, you managed to find your way through the field and got yourself up towards that sort of front pack.
Yeah, I was saying to myself the entire time, do not hit anyone. Do not hit anyone at all, because Lord knows I could have got a penalty point for any of that. And obviously there was that incident with Havoc Connor. I don't think there was any other incidents with me. I was managing to get through the field cleanly because people were just making too many mistakes. So I just picked them off, and I had great straight line speed compared to everyone else. I think a lot of people at the end. I was burning on my battery, and Flynn barely managed to get ahead. But every other time, nobody managed to get ahead of me on the straight. So good straight line speed managed to, keep me in there, and it was good battling between the top 5 at the end. I loved that.
Yeah. So when I'm presuming you saw Flynn's sort of name rising up, he was P4, then P3, then P2. Were you sort of
Yeah.
hoping he would overtake you with a few laps to go?
Well, yeah, well, obviously I was hoping on the 24th lap because he was a lot closer on the 24th lap, and I was like, if he overtakes me, I can get him back.
Yeah.
And I'd been saving so much ERS, I got to 100% on the last lap, but he didn't overtake me. So I was like, right, it's on then. And when I see the others have dropped back by 1.5 seconds, they're like, right, it's me and Flynn for the win then. Let's go. So I just had to put the pace on while saving ERS. I knew I needed all the ERS I could get at the end to hopefully keep the win. But you just managed to get so close between sector 2 and 3. and was right on the back of us. I feel like I've had a bit more gap. It could have been a bit of a more like simple overtake or a simple win for me. But yeah, I see him go up the inside, and then I get to see my breaking point. I see he hasn't slowed down. I'm like, I'm gonna break early. I think he's gonna go deep, and I see him lock up and go deep, and I was just like, yeah, thank God. But no, I said to him because I was in the call with him. I was like, I saw you were gonna break late, but that was so unlucky, man. Like you 100% because he did deserve that in the end. He managed to keep up, and that.
Yeah.
So
No, he did have a really good race, obviously, apart from that moment. Definitely cost him the win, but he knows it probably hasn't cost him the championship because he does still gain. Well, he got 6 places higher than Gandalf, so he's still done well in that respect. But for yourself, another win, 2 in a row now after Baku, like in a street circuit, are you?
it seems that I love a good street circuit. It seems it's been the other circuits I've not been good at, so potentially street circuits are the thing. But
Sergio
you
Perez, eh?
know, yeah, Sergio Perez in what 2022?
Yeah, prime Sergio
Yeah,
Perez.
yeah. So yeah, it seems the street circuits are my favourite, and hopefully I'll be keeping at the front a little bit. Hopefully top
Mm,
5.
I'm sure you will. I mean, next week, obviously, we've got Japan, which you had a couple of races before. I think this was F1 22, to be fair, where you hadn't exactly had much luck. But it's 2 games after that cycle, so I'm sure you're. How are you feeling going into it for next week?
Yeah, thanks for that one, Viva. No, I'm telling you now, I practice a lot of Japan. Just as soon as I got this game, I was practicing Japan.
Really,
Because I
first
was
you are
never,
like Japan.
I'm never gonna make the same mistake twice. And you saw me. We've raced Japan in the 5 lapper.
Mm.
And I've managed to iron out the mistakes I would usually make around Japan.
Yeah, it's a
And
lot
that,
easier in
and
five
I'm
laps, to
obviously,
be fair. But yeah.
yeah, gonna put some more practice in for next week, and hopefully another top 5. I'm just hoping for top 5s. I'm not gonna say wins because I'm not big-headed. There's some quick drivers here. Now we've got Viking, who's on the pace right off the bat. We have Salty
Mm.
Stevens, who's been quick recently. We've got Flynn, who's championship leading. Gandalf, I don't know what's happened recently, but he will 100% be back on that pace. And then obviously Salty Stevens will be back. There's a lot of drivers, and Taylor, there's a lot of drivers who are going to be on the pace. So top 5, I think, is a good estimate of where I could be in comparison to those.
And then obviously you could have if Jack can get his connection back up, and then ARC Mickey obviously won tier 2 and tier 1 before, so those two can sort of find their pace as well. Then they'll be right up there. I mean, Jack's already shown his pace this season, to be fair, but obviously had connection problems tonight. But yeah, it will be an interesting race next week. DRS maybe won't play as much of a factor because there's only one DRS zone there.
Yeah, hoping I can just get the practice in, get up to speed again, and hopefully be in the challenge for the fight for the podiums, maybe even the win. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
nah, definitely. But yeah, great stuff tonight, and it's difficult to say if it's a well-deserved victory because Flynn was very unlucky, but you did manage to pace very well out in front, so probably could argue based on that it was a deserving win. But yeah, he'd certainly done well and got that second win in a row. So well done, Parkour.
Thank you so much. I would say I'm happy with the podium because I think I deserved a podium after that
Mm.
comeback drive after all them safety cars and everybody being on better tires. So I feel like I'm happy with the podium. It was unfortunate for Flynn not getting the win, but happy for the win. But hopefully me and Flynn can be battling out some more.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that was Parkour then getting another win, 2 in a row now for Parkour after Azerbaijan, and now gets the win tonight at Vegas. But we head to round 9, Japan, next week. Again, not exactly been Parkour's strongest track over the years. However, again, it's 2 games after F1 22. So we've had 23, now it's 24. So I think we'd expect to see Parkour back around her best, even at that track. And then you've got a lot of quick drivers. Obviously, we've got Viking, new to the league as well. And then you've got Taylor, you've got Drac, Mickey. The two Salty Stevens and Silky Stevens as well. Probably missed a lot of names. Flynn and Gandalf will be up there, I'm sure. So yeah, so many drivers, and obviously not just limited to those drivers. There will be others as well who could push their way up the field. But a lot to look forward to next week. That'll be round 9 at Japan. But let's see what's going on for the rest of this week then. So tomorrow night, Tier 3, 8 o'clock PM, and the circuit will be, if I go to the race calendar. So Tier 3 will be held at Imola tomorrow night. Oh, that's a tricky one. So Imola, 8 o'clock PM for Tier 3. Friday night, 100% tier, 8 o'clock PM will be at Silverstone. That'll be at Great Britain, of course. That could be a very intriguing race, I imagine. International tier, 9 o'clock PM on Saturday night, and that'll be round 8 held at Austria. So a couple of strong races there going into the weekend, Silverstone and Austria. Tier 1 next Monday, and that'll be the Brazilian Grand Prix. So again, another very strong track. And then we head to Japan for Tier 2 next Tuesday. So a lot of strong tracks coming up with Brazil, with Austria, with Silverstone amongst them. So we look forward to that, and that is the week ahead here in the UFRL. But for tonight, that has been UFRL. I've been UFRL F1 Viva. Parkour takes the victory at the Las Vegas circuit. Who will come out on top at Japan next week? Thank you for watching, and good night.